So you've probably noticed that the filter for bestsellers on Etsy is gone. Now I know that this is something that a lot of people relied really heavily on to do their bestseller research for their print-on-demand businesses. But when I started selling on Etsy almost 3 years ago, this did not exist. And they've now gotten rid of it again, so it may be back someday, but I want to teach you how to not rely on using that for your business. So in this video, I'll show you exactly my process of how I find profitable designs to make to stand out in the search results in my business. I'll even do a full design tutorial at the end, so make sure to stay tuned. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Cassie Johnson. I've been selling on Etsy with print on demand using Printify since 2020, and I've now sold over $700,000 worth of t-shirts, sweatshirts, tote bags, and mugs on Etsy, and I created this channel to help you do the same. So let's jump right into it. So the first thing I'd do is I'd start with what type of product category I want to sell. So I'd come to Etsy, and in my case, I sell mostly women's t-shirts. So that's exactly where I'm going to start, is with women's shirts. So if you're not familiar, what there used to be is this filters button here. You could sort by bestsellers and click apply and see every best-selling design in that category. So the one thing that they did change that is good is now you actually can see the bestseller badges right from the search results. So let me find you one here as an example. So you see these popular now badges you could always see from the search results. But up until very recently, this bestseller badge, if the person that's selling this had a sale on it, so see how it's 40% off, this would actually be hidden in the search results. So that's the trade that they made. Now, right from the search results, we can still see bestsellers. It's just not all bestsellers like it was before. So it's still going to be a really similar way to search for what to make that's already proven on Etsy. It just looks a little bit different now since you have to kind of hunt through them. So let's find a good example, and I'm going to show you exactly what my process would look like, because I don't like to make really generic shirts. I like to pick something that's more niched down or more specific. So this bestseller right here is probably the perfect example. So this says Lake Life, and it is a bestseller. Now this is 124 reviews, so this is a really, really great niche. Now I'm going to use my Everbee Chrome extension. I do have a free trial for you of this in the description. It's built right into Chrome, and you click Product Analytics. And it shows us that this shirt has had an average total sales of 570. It's been listed for a little over a year and a half. And then right now its estimated total sales per month is about 24, but that even isn't the biggest season for this. So this will probably go way up as we get closer to spring and summer. So this is the perfect time, if you're watching this when I make it in January, to actually make these shirts and be up and ready before they're popular. But the first thing we need to do is make sure that Lake Life is not trademarked, and then we'll go take a look at that right now. So you want to come to tmsearch.uspto.gov, select basic word mark search. I like to only search which trademarks are currently live, and we're going to type in Lake Life. So here, if it has a registration number, that means that the actual trademark is live and approved. So those are the ones that we need to pay the most attention to. You do want to know if someone is in the process of trademarking something. So let's say we were looking at Lake Life Crew. This is going to be trademarked for this exact design on a shirt, potentially. At least they've applied for it on t-shirts and sweatshirts. But that wouldn't mean that just those words by themselves were trademarked. It would have to be a drawing mark for. This one you see is a 3. It's the design plus words, letters, or numbers. And then I'll show you that in an example. So down here, this one just says Lake Life. So this is trademarked for towels, namely beach towels, pool towels, and so on. So we're good with our actual apparel. And then you just want to make sure, live in that lake life. If you're doing any certain different types of terms, that you check for those. So this one again is trademarked for shirts, but only for this exact design. So we're still good to go. Lake Life here. This is just for beer. So it has to be trademarked for what you're looking to sell on it. And don't forget there's multiple pages. So here I'm going to come to the next page. MI Lake Life. Life at the lake. Okay, perfect. So this does not look like it's trademarked. So we are good to keep pursuing this. But that's when I recommend checking for trademarks so you don't go down a rabbit hole. So coming here, I typed in Lake Life shirt, and we're gonna see what the competition actually looks like. So it looks like there's a lot of bachelorette shirts actually in this niche. Boat waves, sun rays, lake days. That seems like it's a popular saying. Lake squad. Maybe you could do group shirts of some kind. Lake mode. The lake is my happy place. So there's a lot of really great sayings. Lake life and lake wife. And then for using Everbee, again, you can actually analyze an entire page of results to make this quicker and see what is actually the most profitable for you to create for your store. So you just come over here and sort this by the most total sales. So actually that one we were looking at is one of the most successful in this niche, followed by something like this one that says Lake Life, that is set up like a group shirt. So this is a good way to do it where you show 3 of the different colors that you're offering in your listing all in the thumbnail. So that way it almost gives the idea that people should buy these for a group, but it's just the same shirt that says the exact same thing. So that's a great way to stand out in the search results. This one says what happens at the lake stays at the lake. That's really funny. This one sold an estimated 195 times. So again, this is a really great way to get ideas of what types of designs to make for this niche. So then let's talk about how to stand out in the search results. So you want to stand out compared to what else is here. So it's important to look through the first page and really see what's already available, what's already selling well and successful, so you can find a way to look a little bit different. And one great way to look different than what else is out there is to come back over to, say, women's shirts in this example and take a look at bestsellers in different categories and see what types of design pieces have really made them popular. So say this one here, this vintage 1973, that's kind of a cool retro font with retro colors. That could be a good style to use for this niche. Doing 3 different lines of text with every line being a different color seems really popular. Just white text on a gray shirt is always a really winning combination. Seems like this retro font has been super popular for the last year, so that could be a good one to use for this niche, especially the retro font with every other letter being a different color like this one. So just start paying attention to how people actually design their shirts, and then you can use some of those pieces within designs that you make for your own business to where it's still a proven design style that's already sold well, but you're adding something new and unique to the niche that you're actually designing for. So let's come over to Canva and actually start creating a design. So you'll click Create a Design, and I do have a 30-day free trial for Canva if you've never used it before, down in the description. I'm going to come to Custom Size, and the size I'm going to use today is 4500 by 5100 pixels because that's the design area for Monster Digital, which is my preferred print provider. So what I'm going to do here, I think, is going to do the retro letters like I saw in quite a few of those. So I'm going to click the letter T on my keyboard and I'm going to type in Lake Life. I'm going to make this a little bigger by dragging this and make sure that's centered, which you'll see this center line. So let's find a good retro font. This retro hungry font is really great. I believe I did get this retro font from creativefabrica.com, which again, there is a link for a free trial for them down in the description, but there's plenty of great retro fonts here on Canva as well. You just come here and type in retro, and it'll pull up some great options for you to look through and try. But I do really love using Creative Fabrica's website for the graphics and fonts. They have over 5 million graphics and fonts that you can use for your print-on-demand business. So here what I'm going to do is show you how to use some different effects. So you'd click this Effects button, and what I want to do is actually splice it. So you can see how now the outline is removed and it's separate, but I'm going to take that offset out. So now the outline is just going to be around the letters, and I'm going to make the outline a little bit smaller. And then for the inside letter color, I'm going to come down here to this color palette. So this is a color palette right on Canva, and you can sort through their color palettes right on here. And this one's called Thwarted Summer Shower. So I think I'm going to do this pink color for the middle And then I'm going to keep the black outline. I think that looks really nice. And then I'm going to duplicate this, and then duplicate it again and duplicate it again. So now I'm going to have it just say Lake Life over and over again, because this is a really popular style that I've seen people sell in other niches. But I'm going to have every line be a different color, because again, that's another thing I've seen people do that's really popular. So I'm going to click Effects again, and this line I'm going to do the next color. This one, I'll do the next color. So it's great using these color palettes, because then the colors actually match each other and coordinate. And I think that looks really cute and beachy. I think next I'm going to add a little graphic over top of it. So I know I found this little anchor earlier, but what I typed in was sailboat heart, because I wanted to find something for people who like sailing. And then if you have all of these ones that move, you can actually click this little button up here and say static and apply the filter. That way you don't see all these moving pieces. And I had looked through these different results here to find something that was kind of a hearts on it, because the one that we're copying said Lake Life and had a little heart underneath it. And sometimes it's those little details that really help to have your design become a bestseller. It's that teeny stuff that becomes the difference. Now you don't want to go overboard. Simple really does sell best a lot of times. And that's why I picked this cute little anchor. So what I think I'm going to do actually is make a second page, and I'm going to make this anchor the next color in that little color palette. So it's this darker blue that I hadn't used yet. So I want to add the anchor over top of these words, but I think it would pop a lot better if it had a black outline just like the words. So I'm going to bring this down onto this canvas down here. I'm going to save this, just the second page, as a PNG, so just the anchor. And I'm going to save that as a transparent background, because when you save something as a transparent background and re-upload it to Etsy, so here it is here, I'm going to bring that up here. Now I can actually edit this. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger and kind of put it right here in the middle of this. And when I click edit image, now that I've re-uploaded it as a picture, I can edit the shadows. So if you don't see this right here, because I recently used this, you would just type in shadows, and then here you can see it. So I'm going to click the glow button here, and then I'm going to click it again. If you see, I click the little buttons again, and now I'm going to make the shadow not transparent. I'm not blurry. I'm going to make the shadow glow around it. You see how there's like black getting added around the edges? And then I'm going to click apply. So now the anchor has a black outline around it, just like the text. And it's in a coordinating color. And I think that's a perfect, super cute, kind of beachy style. So I'd go ahead and save something like this and upload it right to Etsy. But another way that you can double down on the efforts that you're making is we did see that there were quite a few really well-selling bachelorette versions of these shirts. So I'm going to save the Lake Life, and I'll post this just one time as just a Lake Life shirt. But then I'm going to change this to Lake Wife. I'm going to make that capital. I'm going to change each of these to Lake Wife, and then I'm going to make this into bachelorette party shirts too, because if I'm doing all this work and making this cute design, I might as well use it more than one time. So now I'm going to make one that has Lake Life for the bachelorette girls and then Lake Wife for the bride as a matching shirt set, and I think this would be a really cute example. So then when you're done with your design, you'll just go ahead and share, download, and you want to save it as a transparent background. Now I'm just going to save page 1 and click download. Then you'll upload these onto some mockups and list them in your store. You also want to come back over to the trademark website and type in Lake Wife and make sure that's not trademarked. When no records come up just like this, then you are good to go. There are no trademarks as well. So coming back over to Canva, you want to create mock-ups for your listings. So something like this, where it's a picture of people wearing the shirts that you're selling. And I'm going to upload the files that I just saved of the Lake Life and Lake Wife and upload them right here. Now we need to make mock-ups for your listings so they look already made and really especially stand out in the search results. Now I've got this really cute mock-up here of the white Bella and Canvas shirts and the mauve or heather mauve here in the picture. I did get these from a mock-up store on Etsy called Mountain Mocks. They are a really good option to look at if you have group or couple shirts. They've got a ton of really cute ones here. So now you'll just upload your designs that you made back to Canva and you'll select them here. So like the lake wife, and make that a little smaller to fit over her chest. A little bit smaller. And then you want to lower the transparency a little bit so it looks like it's actually printed onto the shirt. And then I'll put the lake life one on here as well. So here I'll make this one a little smaller. Again, we want to lower the transparency. And then I can just copy this one and put it over here on this other shirt. And then you've got a super cute mock-up to use for your new listing. And if you don't know how to sell bachelorette shirts in your listings, then don't be intimidated. This is super simple. So the print provider that I use is called Printify, and they actually print and ship all of my shirts for me. I do have a link for them down in the description as well. So when you come to Printify, one of my favorite print production partners is Monster Digital. I also really like Swift POD, and I use the Bella Canvas 3001 t-shirts. So you just quick and easy, upload your design for, say, the lake wife, and you're going to add this to the shirt. I like to do it all the way up at the top and do it a little bit wider than the neckline here, but not all the way to the edges. And then I'm going to add another shirt color. So for this example, let's do the heather mauve. But now you see if they buy a white shirt, it says lake wife. If they buy heather mauve, it says lake wife as well. So what we need to do is click this button here, make a specific design for heather mauve. So now this is a circled in green. And then we want to actually delete the lake wife design here. And we're going to upload the one that says lake life for the bridesmaids. We're going to size that one here. And now when we preview this, if they buy the mauve colored shirt, it says lake life. And if they buy the white colored shirt, it says lake wife. And when they order this, if they order 1 white and 5 heather mauve, they'll get exactly what they ordered, and you don't have to do anything additional. So it's super simple. You do just want to add that that's exactly how they're going to order them in, say, a photo card in the listing or down in the description. I really hope this tutorial helped you see that the bestseller filter being gone is not the end of the world, and there's still great ways to find best-selling and trending items on Etsy super easily. And then also I hope you enjoyed some of the tips on how to stand out in the search results and do something a little bit different but still based on research. So I really would recommend creating your own inspiration library if you're new to designing for t-shirts. I'd go through Etsy and take pictures of 20 or 30 best-selling t-shirts and save them in a folder on your phone or your computer. That way you can really start to analyze what types of fonts and what types of color palettes sell really well on Etsy, so you can use some of those same elements within your designs. And if you haven't actually started selling with print on demand yet and you're trying to figure out how to sign up for Etsy, sign up for Printify, and create your first listings, the more nuts and bolts behind it, then I will link down below my free mini course that teaches you how to actually sign up for Etsy and print on demand and create your very first listing step by step. So that is available for you down in the description as well. And as always, thank you so much for staying all the way until the end, and I'll see you in the next one.